Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we're smoking in the bong and the joint because I had to switch it up. I've been smoking way too many indicas, and I'm trying to get more into having some sativas that I like as well. So today in the bong and the joint, we're smoking Pedro Sweet Sativa by Color Cannabis. Now, I have to say, I literally just bought this before I did this, so I haven't really tried it yet, but I've been wanting to try it for a while because everybody at the shop keeps telling me how good it is, and some other people have tried it too, and like customers, and they've told me that it's pretty good, so I figured I'd check it out. And since I really enjoyed Color Space Cake, I figured I would give it a shot. Yeah, well, this is what I could tell you about it. Okay, so the nugs are nice and big. They're fluffy, they're fresh, they're not crunchy or crisp. And they smell like, well, if you're my age, if you're about 40, you'll notice that they smell kind of like, they smell sweet, but then they also have that like weed smell from when you were a kid. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? So it really, like, as soon as I smelled the bag, I was like, oh, that's the stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited to smoke it and see what happens. I think it'll be, be pretty good. And on top of that, so a bunch of customers come in and they constantly buy this Collective Project Blood Orange Yuzu and Vanilla drink. Okay? It is, let me see, 10 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD. Apparently it tastes like a creamsicle. I don't know, but we're about to find out. So that's what we're doing this session. Oh, yeah, and also the Pedro Sweet Sativa is coming in at, let me see here, I think it is 19 or 20% THC, maybe 22 at the highest. But the best part about these color ones, like I'm telling you, is that they have the terpene profile on the back. And from the terpene profile, if you've been paying attention to it, if you listen to the terp episode that I did, session that I did, it really has an effect on your high. So pay attention to what the terpene profile is, because depending on what terps are in it, you can sort of figure out or potentially figure out what kind of high you're going to get out of it and how it's going to react with you. So one of the things that I'm nervous about in this is farnesene, because it seems like all the sativas that I've smoked with farnesene in it give me a bit of a headache at the, like, on the come down. So I have to smoke a little bit more so that doesn't happen. So we'll see what happens with this, because it is like the second highest percentage terp in the whole in the makeup of this plant. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. I want to see if it does what I think it's going to do, which I think is it's going to make me a little bit wild. Like, not wild, but, you know, energetic and bouncy. Let's call it that, you know? As far as the Collective Project, I don't know if it's like an indica or a sativa or a hybrid or what, but this drink is the equivalent of 5.2 grams of dried cannabis. So I'm not going to drink it as fast as I did as the what is it, XMG drink that I tried like a few sessions ago, where it was a mango one and it was a lot to drink in 20 minutes, and this can's double that size. So we'll find out. But thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, on your Friday. Cheers to you. Yeah. You're starting your weekend off right, baby, and joining the sesh with your friendly neighborhood pothead. So I've been watching a lot of, if you have Disney Plus, they have National Geographic. That's it. Okay, so this sativa is pretty good. It's starting to set in. I like it. It feels like it's going to be a giggle fest. I don't know if I'll get through this. We'll see what happens. But I've been watching National Geographic on the Disney Channel. As you can tell by my perma-smile that's starting. If you're watching this, you get the luxury. If you're listening, know that I have a really big smile, and I'm hoping that you can hear it through my words. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of National Geographic's what is it? Animal Fight Club. And basically what it is it's just a bunch of different animal fights. So like everything from like bears to moose to giraffes to elephants to alligators. And it's like a pairing of all the different things. They do fish too, dude. So there's even like octopus fights, which are fucking crazy and terrifying, and it makes every movie that I've ever seen about underwater stuff that much scarier. Because octopus have, you know, they obviously have their legs with their suction cups, but they have a little beak inside them. That's what they do. They pick up their prey, they draw them in, and then they pow all over, all over them with the beak, so they're done. It would be the most terrifying death I think possible. Like, other than maybe drowning or suffocating, because those are my other two like scary ones, right? So they're been, oh my god, it does taste, dude. Okay, I just took a sip of this blood orange yuzu and vanilla. It literally tastes like a creamsicle. It's got a, you know, a fizzy flavor to it, because it's a, you know, it's carbonated. It's like a pop, but the aftertaste is all creamsicle. Oh my god. Yeah, I can see why people really enjoy that drink. Holy shit, that's good. Wow. Yeah, Collective Project, yuzu, or blood orange, yuzu, and vanilla. Dude, it's delicious. Oh my god, all I can taste is creamsicle. And it pairs nicely with that sativa. Because the sativa is kind of sweet. Pedro Sweet Sativa. And yeah, so that's good. So anyway, all right, getting back. Let's light these joints before I get into these animal fights. Because, so the three that stuck out in my mind was, I'll save the best one for last. So the first one was kangaroo fights. First of all, you're looking at, damn it, I rolled it loose again. I just lit the joint. I hope you light your joints. There it is. A little nugget at the back of the throat. Okay, so kangaroos. So the kangaroos are awesome because they're like, what, 6 feet plus tall, like maybe 6'3", size of a man. They use their tails to hold themselves up so that when they clash together, not only are they boxing, but they'll like wail on you with their giant legs, right? And their giant leg muscles are attached. There's a specific type of muscle where as the foot recoils, it generates more and more power for the release. And then like, boom! That shit'll blow your back out. Fuck porn. Take a shot from a goddamn kangaroo with their foot, not even their fist, you know? And they will not stop. Like, they'll beat your ass. So that was the first one that stuck out because I was like, god damn, these guys just... It looked like watching a human with a tail, like, MMA fight, essentially, without the jiu-jitsu. It was just a straight, well, karate fight. Or a kickboxing fight. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. They're also jacked. Like, they're full, like, they're ripped, dude. Like, it's other than a gorilla, okay? It's the only other animal that I've seen that had more muscle than, like, a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? Or matched it. Like, oh my god, so big. And again, I know it's a fucking animal, so there's a difference. But I'm saying. So the second one that I thoroughly enjoyed because, again, this one I thought was pretty funny. So, penguins, they can't fly. They're flippers. I said this in a couple episodes too. Like, there used to be giant penguins, 6 foot, 250-pound penguins back in the day. That's right. They were that big, dude. That's a penguin that's like a running back, but can't run. But it'll slap the shit out of you with their wing. Because the wings are designed, because they don't fly, are designed to like help them control themselves on the ground, right? But they're also their weapons. So when they get into a fight for territory or over a woman or whatever, they're slapping the shit out of each other. And all I could think was, like I said a couple episodes ago, was like, imagine that. Because it looks funny when they're little. Like, when they're little itty bitty, like they look like a, you know, baby bird flapping around and swatting at shit. So, but the clap when they hit each other, dude, is so loud. It's like, you know those clappers you get at like baseball, or you used to, I don't know if you get them anymore, but they're two hands and they slap together. It was as loud as that. Or like two boards clashing together if you were pretending to have a sword fight kind of shit. Okay? So that one made me laugh because like all I could think was like, these things are so little, I wonder if it would actually hurt. They could break your leg at the size that they're at now. Imagine what a 250-pound, 6-foot penguin could do. And knock your head right off your fucking body. Split you in two. Like, so yeah, that's the penguin one. The best out of all the fights that I saw. Okay? And there's a lot. Like, there's a lot of alligators. There's sharks fighting alligators. There's fish fighting octopus. There's fish fighting fish. There's birds fighting birds. There's birds fighting alligators. Like, there's a cross of everything, okay? And then there was a beetle. And this little beetle, I think it was in the rainforest, but I was pretty high when I was watching it, so I'm not totally sure. But they dwell in trees, okay? And what they do during mating season is they climb up to a branch that they see a female on, or like one where, where they see a female on. So they go up to this branch and they try to get the female's attention, right? But like all of the male beetles are trying to do the same thing. So they're all going to the same branch. So they essentially have to have a WWF or WWE style like tree branch match. And they fight like that too, because they can't like punch or hit each other. So they have these two giant horns that come straight out of their head. They look like miniature moose horns. Like massive, okay? And they fight with that. And they use the horns to like pick the other guy up and throw him around, or like hit him and stab him and all this stuff with their head. Okay? So what they do when they come together, I need a puff of the joint. So what they do when they come together is they have their two little horns. Okay? If you can't see this, I'm using my hands to demonstrate. So my hands are my beetles, and then I have my two like main finger, index fingers on each hand pointing out like a horn. And they come together, boom, 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 bam, and they clash, and they try to rip each other's heads off with their horns, okay? The ultimate goal is that they're not necessarily trying to kill each other. What they're trying to do is flip the other one out of the tree so that you are the king of the branch, right? But it's just an onslaught of beetle after beetle after beetle. So the little beetle that they were following is up there. He takes on the first dude, bow, and he crashes with him. And then here's the thing. So, like I said, not only do they don't necessarily try to kill each other, but if they have to, they will. Now, they don't like throw them to other branches. No, this is how they win. And it's literally a finishing move. This is why I say it's very WWE reminiscent, okay? Or reminiscent of WWE. Because these guys with their horns go, and once the other one loses its grip on the branch, they scoop it up. They pick it up, and they fucking suplex him off the tree. They just chuck him. They're like, okay, see you, buddy, you're out of here. And they throw him, and he falls, and he hits the ground at the bottom of the tree, and then, boom, he moves on. Because, like, the fall hurts them, but it doesn't kill them, okay? And they're really high up. Like, it would hurt and kill us. But they're a beetle. So then, he fights, like, 5 different beetles that have all lined up to, like, tag in after the other one to come after him. So he has to do that. He has to suplex 5 beetles out of a fucking tree, okay? When he wins, he then goes over to the lady beetle and is like, hey, baby, what's up? Right? And she's all like, no, go away, I don't like you. And then he's like, but you like me now? Look at me, I'm the winner. I suplex everybody out of the tree. And then she's like, okay. And then he bangs her, okay? And then what do you think he does with her? You think he's not like, it's a beetle. So they're not like, hey, let's get married, you know, have kids and have, like, it's not a cartoon. They're not, like, burrowing into the tree and they have, like, a little beetle house in there with all their kids and he's reading the paper later on. No, he then scoops her up with his horns and then suplexes her out of the tree. So his whole thing is fight, 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 fuck, throw. Now, there is a reason for that, and it's not just because he's a dick. Okay? They have to, when the females lay their eggs, they have to fertilize this specific tree, or they have to lay it at the bottom of this specific tree, because the nutrients from the roots and the ground around the tree give their eggs the energy and nutrients that they need to grow. Could you imagine if that was your life cycle? You get thrown out of a tree after you get banged, okay? You get thrown out of a tree, you end up at the bottom, you squirt out your babies, right? Now the next, it just repeats itself, because then now you've done that, you go around, you get some food, maybe have a nap, right? And then you gotta climb back up the tree find a branch, and do it all over again next mating season. Like, I wonder how long, I didn't pay attention long enough, but I wonder how long these girl beetles last. Like, how long do they live? Because they're constantly getting banged and then suplexed out of trees. I don't know. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Because, I mean, first of all, animal fights are normally really violent, but this was literally a wrestling match. Like, sure, they were fighting and they were, like, hurting each other, but they weren't actively trying to hurt each other. They were just actively trying to take over the branch. Like a wrestler just tries to take over the ring, right? He's like, all the moves are huge and grandiose and, like, it's tough to beat. Like, you can't, the normal person couldn't take that beating, right? But in terms of a fight, okay, in nature and even humans, like, there's MMA, where the tigers and the bears and the sharks and the lions and all those guys, like the brutal, like, bloodlust kind of animal, that's our equivalent, are those guys, right? Because, like, they have that mentality of, like, I'm the best, I'm the most dominant. And then you have, like the wrestlers, who, the WWE wrestlers, what I'm saying, where there's a show to it too, you know, like a really big show. And so they're just trying to establish their position. That's like these fucking beetles. They're just trying to establish their position. So they're not really, they're just flinging each other around like fucking, like The Undertaker and Mankind, when they were throwing each other around. And I know that, like, they got hurt. I'm not saying they didn't. But, like, they lived to tell about it. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, a gorilla fights an alligator, one of those two are not living to tell about that war story. You know? So, yeah. So I thought it was kind of funny that you just keep, there's a bug that essentially just WWE's its species every spring to get laid, and then fucks off and gets food. Like, I don't know. But in between watching that stuff, I've also been reading a lot of new books about new ways to think and stuff like that, because I feel like I've gotten stagnant and complacent in how I live my life. So I want to make a drastic change, right? And I know that this is a totally different subject, and it is. So thanks. Let's rewind that, Justin. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you're enjoying the sesh. Thanks for joining me. And now we're going to move on to books I've read. Not really. Not all the books I've read. I just read 2 books recently that I have found have really helped me change the way that I think. And it's actually made me look at a lot of the things that I do very differently. And one of those books was called The Leader with No Name, or The Leader with No Title. The Leader Without a Title. The book was called The Leader Without a Title. And it was just a really good perspective of how to find positivity and enjoyment in life in everything you do, but also being successful in your business life. And then it sort of, you know, like how changing how you think about that will change your overall attitude of everything, right? And so I read that and I got really into, like, yeah, I'm kind of looking at things the wrong way, you know? Like, I'm looking at things too much like you did this to me versus I did that to myself. I mean, I also understand that I do things like that where I, like, you know, as even a normal like anybody else. Holy crap. This weed is just a nice sativa because my lips can't catch up to my thoughts, man. I know it sounds like I'm getting high and stupid, but it's not. I'm trying to say things, and my brain is going faster than my mouth. So here, I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to take a little puff of this, and do this. What I'm trying to say is that there are many different ways to look at everything that you do in life. And if you're unhappy with the place that you're in life, part of it could be the place that you're in, but the other part of it could be the way that you're thinking about the place that you're in. So changing your attitude towards what you can do to make things more fun and more positive for you is one of the best things that you could do for yourself. Because then everything you do becomes enjoyable as long as you are able to focus on what the main purpose is. And my main purpose was to find the fun in everything I do. Do things that were fun to me now versus things that I felt like I had to do for either money or because other people wanted me to or anything like that. Okay? So the leader without a title was it put me in a different frame of mind to look at the business opportunities that I had or have or were trying to get. Okay? And it's made everything much more easy to deal with because I'm not always jammed up with the bullshit. Because the way I was thinking before, I was jammed up with the bullshit and I couldn't focus on what needed to be focused on. Okay? So that was one book. And then the other book I read is called, what the fuck is it called? Shit. Why You're Dumb, Poor, and Sick. I can't remember who that's by, but you can look it up. If you just type in Why You're Dumb, Poor, and Sick, then you'll find it. But again, it was about how you look at, well, essentially it was how you look at money, right? And how the influences that you have or the influences that you were attracted to as a kid then they're so ingrained in you that they're always in your subconscious and they're always leading the decisions that you make. And they're not necessarily the right decision to make. So a big part of it was you got to learn to lean into stuff. Actually, that was a big part of both these books, is that some stuff that scares you, you need to lean into. And as I read this and I thought about this, I was thinking, yeah, one, you're right. There's a lot of ways that I think that are based on things that were told to me as a child or things that I heard or listened to or absorbed as a child, and they have like sort of manifested into like a fucked up way of thinking now, right? So that was one part of that book. Then the other part was that it made me think about the fact that as like a teenager and a 20-year-old, I didn't really think about like consequences of shit, right? So I didn't have that. I didn't always stray away from something because my gut was like, oh, I don't like this, it's uncomfortable. In fact, I would do it. I would lean into it, right? So in the book, in both those books, man, I'm getting high again. I think the drink might be a hybrid because it seems like it's leveling me out. Still tasty though, holy cow. So, okay, so what I'm saying is, in both these books, at the end of reading both of them and then moving on to a different one, I finally realized that the way that I was thinking was built on what I had thought of as a kid, and I hadn't thought about it in a long time. So as soon as I recognized it based on what the book was telling me, I was able to adjust how I looked at certain things. I also felt like as a younger kid or a teenager, 20-year-old, what would end up happening was I would, find the fun in stuff and go for stuff even if it made me uncomfortable. Whereas now I would like, if it even put like a little bit of a tingle in my stomach, I'd be like, no, that's not, I'm backing off, and I wouldn't do it. So I didn't realize it was a fear. So then once that was recognized, it was like, oh, everything that seems reasonable, right? That I get that little bit of oh, this is uncomfortable. I lean into it and always think to myself, like, what'll happen when I do this? As opposed to like this, what I think is this could be fun. Let's see what happens. As opposed to thinking of all the bad shit that that could go wrong. You know what I mean? And saying like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. And since I've started doing that, it's really helped my perspective on a lot of things. It's also helped me make decisions easier, faster, better with a real clear intent. Yeah. So I recommend those two books. That's what I'm saying. I recommend, okay, so here, let's go through this. Dude, I'm high. I hope you're enjoying the sesh. I know this is random, but sometimes that's what we get. We get random. And, okay, wait, where was I going? Oh, dude. Okay, let me think for a second. I got this. Right. I know that this is a random episode, but I guess what I wanted to say was, I think everybody should watch Animal Fight Night on National Geographic on Disney Plus because, like, man, some of it is awesome, some of it is terrifying. But it's the whole spectrum of emotions, okay? And also, you should read those 2 books because if you're even remotely into personal progress or, attempting to change and better yourself as a human, those 2 books are very good for that. That's what I'm saying. And you should check them out. And what was the first one called? The first one was called The Leader Without a Title. And the second one is called Why You're Dumb, Broke, and Sick, I think is what it's called. But yeah, they're good. They were good books. They helped me readjust how I think about things, like I said. And they've really put me on a much more positive path, I think, with everything that I'm doing. And everything, again, based on the idea that I can make, what can I do that's fun that will sustain what I, where I want to go. So I recommend it. If you're in any position like me thinking like that, you should read those for sure. If anybody watching has any recommendations, I'll also take book recommendations. I love stuff like that. I love self-help, but like more, here's a new way to think, as opposed to like, this is how you think about yourself better, because I'm pretty confident in myself, I think. I hope you are too, because as I say to everybody I meet, do you, man, and do you 100%. That's what I'm saying. And I'm also saying it's ganja gong time. That's right. It's time for weed facts. Weed facts, baby. These weed facts are about bongs because I thought they were pretty cool facts. And I was looking up bongs one day. So these facts are from CannabisLifeNetwork.com. 19 things you didn't know about bongs. So weed fact number 1. Every time I go to say the first fact, I fuck it up. I gotta practice, man. Weed fact number 1. The first water pipes were made more than 2,400 years ago by our ancestors. In 2015, experts who were excavating a Russian kurgan, which is, I guess, a fortress, embankment, or high grave, found a pair of gold bongs dating back to around 400 BC. These bongs were owned by a fierce nomadic group, I think it's pronounced the Scythians, who ruled the vast Eurasian territories. The bongs tested positive for both opium and cannabis. So yeah, so the first bongs, the bong's been around for over 2,400 years. Everybody likes to get high, man. Well, maybe not everybody, but people like to get high, man. What can I say? I totally like it because I'm a bong guy, as you could tell by the opening of every episode. All right, weed fact number 2. The second oldest bong was discovered in Africa. 11 pipes with cannabis residue were found in the caves of Ethiopia, dating back from 1100 and 1400 CE, or about 1500 years after the first primitive bongs were owned by the Scythians were believed to have existed. So there you go. So there's some little backup. So it was the Scythians first, which were, what were they again? They were found in Russia. Okay. Those were the first ones. And the second ones were found in Africa. Everybody, and then I'm pretty sure somewhere in there, also Asia was in on it too, man. All right. Weed fact number 3. Artist and cannabis. Look. Oh man, I can't make it through all these without fucking up. Artist and cannabis lover Bob Snodgrass is credited for revolutionizing the way bongs were made. He invented a technique called fuming, coating the inside of the pipe with vaporized silver and other stuff that made glass pipe making an art. He's also known as the father of borosilicate, aka hard glass, pipes and smokeware. That's pretty cool. All right. That's all I have to say about that. Sorry, I got nothing. All right, weed fact number 4. We have 4 today. One of China's most powerful female rulers, Empress Dowager Cixi, from the Qing dynasty, was found to have been buried with 3 of her most prized bongs. Cannabis was said to come from Central Asia, with the Chinese among its avid users. So yeah, Dude, even empresses used a bong. They took it to the grave. That's how much they liked it. And then we stupidly make it illegal. Now we bring it back. So now it's all good. So everything I'm doing right now is legal. And thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, man. So those are the weed facts for the week. I also have some pretty crazy stories. So these are actually factual stories in the Dude for Real segment. So dude, for real, this shit happened. Okay? This is from viralnova.com. Creepy but true stories. Dude fact number 1. The number 088, 0 with 3 8s. Okay, god damn it. I'm going to try and do this right. Dude for real fact number 1. The number 0888-888-888. There we go. I got it. Nailed it. Was discontinued for a dark, dark reason. Every single person who was given the number has died in the last 10 years. 2 of the deaths were mob bosses who probably had it coming. That's what they say. But phone companies still don't like the odds, so they discontinued it because apparently it's a magical death phone number. Crazy, eh? Dude for real fact number 2. In 1885, a man received a letter from his brother in the mail. However, wait, I had the thing. However, where was he? The brother had been dead for 13 years. The letter mentioned that his brother was mentally ill and would soon be coming to visit. When the man went and dug up his brother's coffin, he found it completely empty. Can you believe that? That's bananas, man. He dug up the coffin and it was empty. You can do that again. That's crazy. Dude for real fact number 3. And the final dude for real fact for this week. Edward Mardrake was born with a second face. That's right. It was attached to the back of his head. The second face couldn't speak, but it could cough and cry separately from Edward's emotions. Dude, if you go to this, I'll put it, it'll be on tots420.com under the Dude for Real link. Go down to these dude facts and that's what I'm saying. He has if you go, okay, so the camera just switched over again. So here we go. So if you go to the website, tots420, if you go to my website, tots420.com, you go to the Dude for Real Facts link, I'll put this up there. But if you go to that one, you can actually see the guy with the face on the front and the face on the back. Yeah, it's crazy. And it laughs and cries and coughs. It could laugh and cry separately from him. That's fucked. So Edward, he called his face the devil twin. And then he ended up, unfortunately, killing himself at the age of 23 because the doctors refused to remove it from his skull. I mean, it probably would have killed him. If you look at the picture, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, those are the Dude for Real facts of the weed facts for this week. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. I want to thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, on your Friday at 4:20 to kick off your weekend. Thank you. I hope you come back next week with me and Thoughts Off the Stem on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you get a podcast, YouTube, Good Pods, WeTube, anywhere you get a pod chaser. Yeah, wherever you get a podcast, it's out there because I put it out there, baby. And check out tots420.com. Get your hoodies, get your hats. There's some new t-shirts in there, weed sommelier, and keep your lids low, baby. That's right. So until next time, keep your lids low, baby.